right. Welcome to another segment of the Araminta Society Conversations, where Christa and I share some insights, experiences, tips, nuggets about living and thriving on the African continent, and specifically in Ghana, where I've lived for 10 years.
And I have lived for almost 21 years.
Yes, so I think we definitely have some things to share. We get asked a lot of questions from friends, family. We've done interviews in global media, and we're here today to kind of like share and drop some of that knowledge on you today. So Christa, on the segment today, we're going to focus on something that like literally I feel like every day, week, somebody reaches out to me about getting citizenship in Ghana and in other parts of Africa. I think there's a lot of kind of rumors, all sorts of things. People think that you can just get off the plane and walk into an office and come out with a Ghanaian passport. Like, what has been your journey? First of all, you lived here for 20 years, but you've had citizenship for like 2 or 3 years. Like, why did you wait? You know, you were married here. Like, what, you know, why, how and why did you end up getting it? And why has it been important?
Well, I felt it was important because of my years of living here and my own contributions within the field of higher education. I think it's like anywhere you go in the world, beyond that spiritual connection, you also have to give back to the society. And I felt that over the last 20 years, I've been able to do that through connecting with young people, through offering U.S. accredited degrees in my last job, Webster University, giving global experiences to people from the United States here on the continent. All of those things made me want to pursue a path towards Ghanaian citizenship. And while, yes, I could have gotten the citizenship through my husband, for me, knowing that our former president had a specific campaign of return that we are referencing, and Year Beyond the Return, there was an opportunity through that campaign for citizenship for the diaspora. And so I tried to wait for that opportunity to come through that specific vehicle, and that is what happened. And the same, I believe, happened for you too. And so I would say there has never been a straight process
right, yes,
to do this. Sometimes this is the initiative of a government, and I believe even with the current government that we have a president who was here some years back who has returned, President John Mahama. I'm sure those opportunities will be available to members of the diaspora again. But it gives me great joy to know that I came through the Year of Return campaign for my citizenship. And I know that we also were very blessed to give that opportunity through the Year of Return to our parents, right? Your mother and my father most recently, in fact, even just, 2 months ago, received citizenship after having come here for 30 some years with groups of students. And so there's something very meaningful about that.
Okay, you talked about paths. I mean, I think there's a lot of misconceptions that like it's just open, like you just come and you can get it, right? I think, okay, so let's say there's a couple things. Like Ghana has been a place that like the diaspora has been coming since the times when it became Ghana. You know, Kwame Nkrumah felt that connection through his HBCU and his time he spent in the Black American communities, had that strong connection. So he had this vision that Ghana was going to be what it is today. It's so crazy. I'm sure he seemed like crazy when he was talking about it then, but we are literally living out the dreams and the fantasies of these people. Marcus Garvey here right behind us. We are living that, right? So
or even I wanted to mention that my grandmother was also in school with Kwame Nkrumah at the University of Penn. So I feel like they're both looking down on me today, living this dream in Ghana. My great uncles actually taught Nkrumah at Lincoln University, so I feel like there's a reason that it was in the ancestors' plans for me to be here and to make an impact in the field of higher education because their family ties to Lincoln University as well as University of Pennsylvania. I remember that during my time in Ghana, my grandmother passed away at the age of 97, and I went to her home in West Philadelphia, was going through her things, and I remember there was a chest that I could never open as a child. I always tried to open it, and then somehow, after my grandmother passed, I realized you just push one button and the chest just opens. The treasure chest just opens. And in that chest, I found letters from Kwame Nkrumah, our late president, to my grandmother, inviting her to the dance at Lincoln and vice versa.
Oh my God.
All kinds of things. And today, it's just interesting to live here and to know our late president's children. Specifically, I have a beautiful relationship with his daughter, Samia Nkrumah, who I've shared these letters with, and I often tease her. I could have been also, heir to the throne of Ghana. We laugh about that sometimes, but actually, my grandmother and our late president were just very good friends who were in Philadelphia at a time where there were very few Black folks at the University of Penn, and they met on UPenn's campus, where Nkrumah didn't have housing at that point, and she went over to speak with him about that because the Black community was so small at that time, and that led later to a friendship. And then I look at today, I'm raising a child here, I have my family here, and working here.
Wow.
There's something to be said for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, as you said, the ancestors were conspiring long before. You didn't You didn't just land here in Ghana. Like, it was like part of your mission. But speaking about like the citizenship and path, and I was saying that like we have been coming. Maya Angelou spent a lot of time here. But this and so different presidents, I know during Rawlings' time, different, policies have been put into place, but really nothing had really been cement and put in stone on how we were going to get citizenship, right? That wasn't really happening, right? So it was kind of like haphazard, like how we know in Muhammad's time, his first presidency in 2016 was when that first group of got 30-something people. And so they were pretty much the first time the diasporans had actually got it, even though like different laws and policies, I don't think that had really been happening. And some of those people who got their citizenship that in the 2016 time, they had been living here 20, 30 years, fighting and trying so hard to get it, right? So I think that kind of like really rolled into what we are experiencing now, right? And then
the most recent one that just happened
was like 500 something.
And my father was actually part of that. And I wouldn't know Ghana if it wasn't for him, because he brought me on my first trip in 1999. And so he was so deserving, I feel, based on his contributions to the country. But it's true, like you said, it's not something that just drops out of the sky and happen. You really have to earn it.
Well, I don't know, but like sometimes, like, there's some people, with all these farmers, some people have been here for a couple of months, and like it's really indicative of life in Ghana, like who you know.
Oh yeah. Well, that's true.
You might find the right person,
who you know,
give the right tip, and you get what you need. Which I'm actually not mad at this system. I'm like, in America, we're not privy to that. There are other people who live like that, right?
Yes, right.
Where they know the right people, they have the right connections, but we're on the outside. But then we land here, and we actually can take part in that system.
That's true.
So, so before I got it, I had been going through the normal process of having a resident permit for all the years, which was like what you're supposed to do. And then after you live here for like 7 or 8 years, then you can apply, and it's like all this kind of process that is supposed to work, which I don't even know who gets it that way, because all of a sudden,
this is a newer phenomenon, I like to say, of people
and you never know when
for such a long time. But then we also have these great cases of powerful symbols in our diaspora world, such as my beloved, I'm his biggest fan of all times, Stevie Wonder.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, girl, who are you talking about?
Stevie Wonder.
Dr. Umar?
No, I'm not talking about Dr. Umar. I'm talking about
But he did get his citizenship, too.
Yes, who just got his citizenship, too, and is obviously so deserving of that citizenship. So we have a number of examples like that, honorary titles of citizenship, if you will. For folks like Stevie Wonder.
Right. I mean, I think it's important because, like, hey, you were living here. I was living here, and it's not something that's, like, absolutely needed. But why I think it's important, even symbolically, like that we, like, because we never had a place.
Right.
Like, we didn't know that, like,
Right.
until now, like, people are seeing on Instagram and stuff like that. Like, what? Africa's popping? Ghana's popping? I didn't know there was another place that, as a Black person, I could go and I could be a full citizen and I can enjoy maybe even better, than what's happening here, right? So I think it's really symbolic. Like,
yes, it is.
we actually, there's another place.
Yes.
That we can actually be, yes, we can call home, that we can belong to. And that is what's drawing people here. And that's what's symbolic about, like, having this Ghanaian passport. I know everybody wants that other blue passport.
Yes.
But, like, for some of us, we want and need this other piece, this other passport, this other citizenship. So I think that's really powerful to have that.
Now I've even been hearing online that there's a whole community that is being built. Have you heard that? Because this past week I had so many people contacting me saying, is it true that there's the Ghanaian government is going to give hundreds and hundreds of acres to African Americans to go and live?
All right, look, we gonna see. I know So I mean, that's very possible, and like if it happens,
their own city, their own community, basically, essentially, which has already happened in Elmina and Cape Coast in the Central region. We have so many of us are also living there and living that. Incredible.
I mean, I feel a little funny about that, because I'm like, I do feel like that's great, but also I'm like, if you come all the way here, and like, you should be more integrated into the society than having this like separate like African American world in Ghana. Like, if it's open to like other people, I don't know, because I do think that separates us from many people that we know, because we are fully integrated into society here. Like, you know, it's not all about like hanging with this like crew of African Americans all the time, not like understanding Ghanaian culture. So like, I mean, let's just see. I think good. That's people that's from
a full episode.
Right. That's all the episode. But from a marketing perspective, to get people to move or invest, like, that's great and wonderful. I don't want to like throw shade on that, but I'm just saying, if you get here and you think you're gonna hang with only African Americans or expats, like, good luck.
I mean, we do have, of course, the African American Association, we have the Caribbean American Association, but I think those associations have also done a great job of making sure that we are connecting with the Ghanaian community, and the Ghanaian community is also part of activities and events. So there are many different worlds in which you can navigate and move in here, but ultimately, I'm happy to know that many people are continuing from the diaspora to return, and that citizenship is a real path for us now. I think that's something to be celebrated.
100%. And it is helpful. Like, you know, you traveled recently to Nigeria. Having a Ghanaian passport is wonderful. I don't have to pay like $200 visa fee.
Exactly. Other parts of the continent, you don't have to because of that passport. So those are some of the benefits. Also additional benefits.
I think we're just, as new citizens, I think we're just starting to really unfold what the benefits are. But definitely, it's, you know, I'm proud to have that.
Me too. I'm really proud, and I'm so proud, even prouder that our parents have that citizenship. To me, that is the absolute icing on the cake. That mom and dad, you know, have their own pathway here and feel that this is their spiritual home, if you like. We were
the living modern day Harriet Tubman, whose real name is Araminta, hence the Araminta Society, but where she got to freedom and went back many, many times to bring her brothers and sisters and other enslaved people to freedom. So that's essentially what we're doing one by one. So thank you for joining us for this segment of the Araminta Society conversation,
as we say in Ghana.
We hope we were able to share some insights, information, tips, gems about living and thriving in Ghana and on the African continent. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.